Hello, friends of looping, friends of loop music, and the musicians who make it. Today I have a very special video for us all, because today we are talking about Loopy Pro, a very special software that helps us do all kinds of things. It opens all the doors. And today I am talking about 7 things that you can do in Loopy Pro, but that might not be completely obvious. 7 things that are cool, but that you might not know that you can even do them. Let's get to it. Why 7? Because, and only because, 7 is exactly how many I've been able to write down over the 6 months that I've been using Loopy Pro. Not in any order from like most important or least important or anything, just in the order that I think would flow and make a good video flow through. Flowy. First thing, and this is one of the best parts, is that Loopy Pro is awesome because, I mean, for a lot of reasons, but one thing that makes Loopy Pro really awesome is that you can have as many tracks as you want to record into. You can have, like me, I have 4 on my first screen just for percussion, just 4 tracks just for making drum beats into, and then I have a second screen where I could have like up to 9. You can put as many as you could put dozens, you could put hundreds, you put however many you want. You just think ahead of time, how many will I need, and you put them. But you don't even have to do that. You don't even have to think what is the maximum amount that I would need, because check this out. Let's go back to A screen, back to screen A. I have 4 donuts here, tracks that I can record percussion into. 4 is more than I ever need. But let's say I was doing a live show and for some reason an idea just jumped up into my head and I needed 5 for it. There is a little button down here, a little donut button, a little magical donut, if you will. You can press this and bam! A donut just pops up. So however many you need, however many you have plus 1 more right there on the screen anytime, as many times as if I needed 6, boom, 6. Are you kidding me? Alright, really cool thing number 2. I am making a video about like features that I would love to have in the future in Loopy Pro, things that I think it could or should do, which is hard to do because a lot of times I'll think of things that I wish Loopy Pro could do, and all I need to do is dig a little bit, and I find out that they already can be done. Case in point, I was thinking, man, I really, as a live performance artist, I wish there was some kind of way that I could have, what time it is on the screen in Loopy Pro, and things like, how much battery is remaining on my iPad. Things that I used to always have a copy of GarageBand open, and that was just such a delight because like I could always just look there and find those 2 pieces of information very easily. Come to find out, Loopy Pro you can have those on screen. And I have put them on my screen, but I can't get my screen to focus on them, but I'll put it on the I'll put an actual screen capture of it. Up here in the corner, and up here in this corner, bam, what time it is, and bam, how much battery life is remaining on my iPad. It's not there automatically, and it's also not there before version 1.0.8 of Loopy Pro. So if you have an older version, you have to update because it's a newish, new kind of thing. But you can have this like I have it. How do you get it? The setting is not anywhere in Loopy Pro as far as I can tell, actually. You have to actually go into your settings, your actual iPad settings. On the left hand side of that screen there's a little slidey menu that when you slide way down, you start seeing all of your different apps. If you slide down to the one that says Loopy Pro, there is a little menu down here that says visual effects. And one of the visual effects that you can set is a little thing that says show system bar. I just tapped that, toggled it from off to on. Life has been smooth sailing since then. I always know what time it is in Loopy Pro. If you don't want to know what time it is, you don't have to turn it on. If you do want to know what time it is, like me, turn it on. How cool is that? Number 3 really cool thing about Loopy Pro that you might have missed, I have discussed before in previous videos, but I'm about to talk about it again. It's called retrospective looping. Right in the middle of my setup where I have my 9 donuts, I have a green one in the middle, and that green one is a retrospective. It's just always listening. Because sometimes really cool things will happen musically. I'll just be making some music, and I'll be like, oh, I wish I had record on. I wish I would have been getting that. Retrospective looping is just always getting that. It's always out there listening. I have this little green donut in the middle of my setup, and I have it set to 8 bars. So at any time that I want to, I can just grab the last 8 bars or whatever's been happening, and if if it's not exactly right, I can just swipe up on that. I'm gonna have to make an example because it won't work because it's empty. Now that something's actually in it, I can just swipe up on that, and then if I only want like half of what was in those bars, you can press divide, or you can extend and pad it out further, or it has these handy little trim handles so you can just clip out exactly whichever part of it that you want. That is super handy and awesome, and I need to play around with it more to figure out how to use it even better, but it has been fun having that as an option. For a really cool thing that Loopy Pro can do, number 4, I am going to need a little help from our old friend, the Live Loopers Beginner's Template. It says here, clear all, swipe up. Swipe up, there we go, cleared all. Now, let's say you're just making any old raggedy beat, doesn't really matter. First loop that you record, right after you record it, there's a little tiny squiggle. Really, there is. If you look right next to that loop, there's this little tiny squiggle thing, and you can tap it, and a menu pops up. That menu is like in case Loopy Pro does some like loop guessing. It's like trying to guess exactly what you mean, which is helpful. But sometimes it guesses wrong. You have a menu of options you can choose, and like you can go through and until you like find the one that's the actual one that you meant to pick, and then you can just press apply. That can come in handy. I've had that come in handy quite a few times. But you know what else you can do? You can pick the one that looks the absolute wrongest. You can pick the one that just looks wacky or whatever, and you can apply that one, and then you can have all kinds of fun music practice to really weird time signatures. You can like give yourself like a musical handicap. You can like, pick a really wonky time thing and then see if you can still make some cool loop music that's interesting and fun. I mean, you can do what you want with it once you know that it's there. I'm just telling you, it's there. Number 5 really cool thing that Loopy Pro can do is a thing that you might really need if you're like me and your iPad has like limited amount of storage space, and you find that you love making songs on Loopy Pro so much that you make them all day and all night, and you save a lot of them because a lot of them are like, oh, I need to save this one, I love it so much. If you're like me and you're like that and yeah, storage space becomes a problem. You might use it all up like I might have done several times, possibly. What you can do, I mean, you can do a lot of things to help. Like you can offload these songs onto like a cloud or Google Drive, or you can take some of those saved songs and you can put them somewhere. That's one thing that you might end up needing to do. You can delete extra videos. There's things you can do with iPad management where you can make more space. But one thing you can do in Loopy Pro, which you might need to do, is you can turn off save points. If save points is turned on, then that means that for an individual song, it might be saving 17 different copies of the same song. And if like the song has really long meandering bars where you were having like a really good time, really getting into the groove, and it's long, then like those 17 copies of that same song, it adds up. So that's like save points was a thing. Like I didn't even know what it was asking me. It was like, do you want save points on or off or whatever? I don't know. What is it? What's save point? Save points. It could be something that you really want on, where you're copying, where you're making backup copies of a very important song or something. But it could be something that you don't even know that you really want it turned off, because you don't need 15 copies of this stupid song you made back in February or whatever. So that can be a huge space saver, and you should know that that's there and how you can do that. A sixth thing that you should... I only have 5 fingers on this hand. A sixth thing that you should know that Loopy Pro can do that is really cool and awesome is that EQing is so easy. Oh my goodness, it's so easy. There is an EQing effect that is just right there included with Loopy Pro, and I personally have just made a little button widget that triggers it and thrown it right there on the master output, with the sound going out. So you can just tap that and you can EQ your whole entire sound mix. I mean, you could throw it on individual tracks or colors or whatever, and you could get fine, with it and EQ different things. But I'm just saying, just as a convenience, it is really cool to just throw an EQ on the whole master out, and then you can fix your own sound. If you're a live performer like me, and they have really, really chunky subwoofers in the house that are just womp womp womp, and you weren't prepared for that, and your sound sounds like crap. You don't have to hunt down the sound guy who's off getting water. You can just fix your own. You can just take down the bass right here in the EQ. It's so easy. Who knew? I mean, how cool is that? Very cool is the answer. That's very cool. And that brings us to our 7th really cool Did You Know Loopy Pro could. Did you know that Loopy Pro has this little project folder right up here in the corner, and yes, you can press it and you can open a project. Did you know that rather than tap it, that you could swipe it? Yes, I just swiped it, and what happened when I swiped it? When you swipe it, it brings up recent songs. So you can just, you don't have to go hunting through a thing that you made a couple days ago, because if it's still one of your recent songs, this just, has a very convenient list of your recent songs. Super handy, super awesome. So many cool things that Loopy Pro can do. I can't even believe it. I pinch myself every day Loopy Pro exists and I get to use it. I'm so so thrilled. If this video helped you at all, please do leave a like on it. Leave some comments. Come talk to us. And please do subscribe if you like loopers and loop music and looping things. If you are here because you love Loopy Pro like I love Loopy Pro, here are a couple more awesome videos Loopy Pro related. I would love it if you would take a minute to watch them if you haven't already, or rewatch them, or whatever. Thank you very much for joining and watching this video. And loop on, my friends, loop on.